Hi everyone, today we will be talking about alcohol. So alcohol is one of the most used drugs worldwide. It belongs to the drug category of central nervous system depressants, which means that it slows down or reduces brain activity. So why does it have this effect? Alcohol can diffuse across the blood-brain barrier, and it mainly affects the major inhibitory neurotransmitter in the brain, GABA, and its mechanism of action is basically binding to GABA receptors and imitating GABA effects, which reduce or inhibit neuronal activity, leading to the feelings of relaxation and drowsiness. Alcohol also inhibits the activity of glutamate, which is an excitatory neurotransmitter, so this contributes to its sedative effects as well. While alcohol's effects on GABA are the most talked about, it also affects other neurotransmitters like serotonin and dopamine. Serotonin is involved in regulation of mood and anxiety, so when someone starts drinking, elevated serotonin levels can cause positive feelings. But continued drinking disrupts serotonin's activity and it can lead to mood disturbances. Finally, we all know alcohol can become an addictive substance. But how does this happen? It occurs because of alcohol's effects on the reward system, which connects the ventral tegmental area to the nucleus accumbens and to the prefrontal cortex. When alcohol is consumed, the dopamine neurons in the VTA release dopamine into the nucleus accumbens and the prefrontal cortex, and the activation of this system regulates the desire for rewarding stimuli. So chronic alcohol use can disrupt dopamine balance in the reward system, leading to alcohol cravings and addiction.
Alcohol affects neurotransmitter GABA in the brain, which slows down brain activity. According to Spear, multiple studies have shown that MRIs of adolescents who subsequently drink alcohol differ from people who have not. The paper describes that gray matter volume decreases in multiple brain regions, especially in the amygdala and the frontal cortex, due to regularly binge drinking or alcohol use disorder in adolescents. Also in the subcortical regions like the brainstem, ventral diencephalon, and the caudate lobe, they found a decrease in gray matter in people who regularly drink alcohol. Next to that, diffusion tensor imaging studies found that decrease in white matter integrity and efficiency for people who drink alcohol a lot, but also for people who drink alcohol regularly. Besides, Spur describes that areas that are most affected by alcohol are parts of the frontal, temporal, and partial cortices, but also in the hippocampus and the cerebellum. The affected brain regions include parts of the brain critical for multiple tasks, for example, concerning cognitive control, executive functioning, attention, language processing, and sensory integration.
Behavioral effects. According to research, teenagers with a history of alcohol consumption show a higher tendency for risky behaviors, and they perform worse on executive function tasks like attention, working memory, and visuospatial tasks. They also perform worse on verbal learning and arithmetic tasks. This makes sense considering that target brain structures affected by alcohol, which we mentioned before, are involved in these tasks, like the frontal, temporal, and parietal cortices and the hippocampus. Another behavioral effect of alcohol is impairment of emotional control and impulsivity, which are also partly controlled or regulated by target brain structures of alcohol, like the amygdala and the prefrontal cortex. A study also showed decreased accuracy on balance as another behavioral effect, and this correlates with its effects on the cerebellum and other structures affected. Also, during adolescence, dopamine systems in the brain are still developing, and they are more sensitive to reward-related stimuli. So the reward pathways are being considerably affected, and this can lead to problems in reinforcement learning and assigning an incentive value to rewarding stimuli, which can lead to alcohol disorders in adulthood. Finally, there's also an indirect behavioral effect of alcohol, called Korsakoff's syndrome, a neurological disorder related to heavy chronic alcohol use, and it can cause disorientation, confusion, apathy, and motor issues with coordination as well as balance or personality changes.
So to conclude, we can conclude that alcohol has quite some behavioral effects and it has an impact on various brain structures as well. While it is socially accepted in many cultures, it's crucial to recognize its classification as a central nervous system depressant drug. As highlighted by Speer, the profound effect of alcohol on brain structures might cause a decrease in gray and white matter in both cortical and subcortical brain regions. Besides, adolescent alcohol exposure can have enduring consequences on behavioral flexibility, disinhibition, and decision-making capacities into adulthood, as the developing brain is particularly sensitive to alcohol's influence. It's important to recognize that alcohol consumption patterns vary across different populations and cultures, contributing to diverse outcomes in behavioral and neurological domains. Although much progress has been made in understanding the effect of alcohol, there still remains a lot to learn about the impact on individuals and societies. Thank you. This was our presentation about alcohol.